Oh, welcome to Lesson 4 of Acc200, Managerial Accounting, in which we examine Chapter 5 on cost, volume, and profit relationships. Abbreviated CVP, this analysis examines the way in which profits are affected by changes in 5 factors: selling price, sales price, unit cost, total fixed cost, mix of products sold. We begin by defining contribution margin as the revenue minus variable expenses. This describes the amount of revenue each unit of sales contributes towards fixed costs plus profits or minus losses. Note that a break-even point is defined as the level of sales at which profits equal 0. This means that levels of output below the break-even will produce a net loss, while levels above the break-even create profits. The diagram on page 193 will illustrate this for you clearly. You should be aware that one of the underlying assumptions of this graph is that the relationship between volume and profit is linear. Although this may not be the case for large changes in output, it is generally close enough to be a safe assumption to make. We'll examine this further detail at the end of the chapter. Pages 197 to 204 detail the uses of CVP formulae to project the effects of changes in sales, changes in product cost, changes in selling price, and changes in target profit levels. Note that you may employ either the equation method or the formula method, since they are mathematically equivalent. Answer the concept check questions on page 196 and 204. And as you come across additional concept checks in the rest of the chapter, answer those as well. Next, we examine the stability of profits under alternative cost structures, starting on page 206. The question here is, which is better, high variable and low fixed costs, or the opposite, low variable costs and high fixed costs? One will lead toward greater profit stability, another will lead towards greater profitability under ideal circumstances. We also examine the concept of operating leverage, which measures the sensitivity of net operating income to a percentage change in dollar sales. Check the formulas on page 208. One of the uses of this concept is to structure sales commissions on contribution margin rather than dollar sales, as explained on page 210. Make sure you're clear on that one. Very, very useful discussion. We next introduce the concept of sales mix and break-even analysis. For this, see page 211. And finally, we examine 4 assumptions of the CVP analysis in projecting the results of operational changes like volume, price, or cost structure. The answer to the concept check questions, by the way, can be found on page 115 among the homework questions. You should note that I've reduced the discussion question homework on the syllabus to take less time doing redundant calculations. Always feel free to attempt harder questions that may not have been assigned. I will award extra credit for these. If done correctly, I will be extremely generous with the extra credit. Up to 100% of regular full credit is possible. Lesson 4 should provide a break in the heavy reading and homework assignment load of the first 3 weeks. Use a few minutes of your extra time to read the syllabus for Lesson 5. It should only take a couple minutes to do this, and we will also be answering a class evaluation form, which is issued every 8 weeks, or every 8-week session at the mid-week, which is this week, week 4, now that we're at the halfway mark. If your projected grade is below passing at this point, and I can show you how to calculate that if you can't figure it out, please contact me after class to have a brief, I do mean brief, conference on how to remediate your grade. Sometimes I can zero in rather quickly on what you need to do, or at least I can provide you with incentive in the form of makeup credits, depending on how late you are with assignments. Since this is early in the session, just under halfway, there's still plenty of time to bolster your grade, make sure that you're graduating with at least a C average, a C grade or better. We hope your average is better than that. You've been in college a long time, many of you, so you should be getting A's and B's, frankly, and I can coach you on that if you'll spend a little bit of time, since our class meetings don't take up the entire 3 hours scheduled. We have time to do that. Look forward to seeing you in class tonight, or tomorrow night rather. This is Sunday. I'll see you Monday evening for our regularly scheduled class, lesson 4.